A question that I've been asking myself lately is what happened to all the clowns from 2016? Like, there was literally an entire worldwide invasion of clown sightings. Schools were shutting down, parents were worried about their kids' safeties, and people were getting arrested and even injured. While 2016 was on a whole other level, mysterious clown sightings have been happening for years before this. And how did this all really start? Well, the Northampton clown was terrorizing a small British town in 2013. A Facebook group was made to update people on the situation, to track the clown's whereabouts, and so many people were in this group and terrified of this clown. But it ended up being 3 young filmmakers who were dressing up as a clown and also secretly running the Facebook page at the same time. This was in order to drive traffic to the concept and got a lot of people's attention. Then we get to 2014, in which an ABC article was released talking about mysterious clown sightings rising in California. Social media accounts were also created to go along with these clowns. And they had terrifying captions such as this one, "No, I will not be coming to get a balloon from you." And it just went downhill from here. Because of movies like it and killers like John Wayne Gacy, clowns have always been just a little terrifying for me. Well, in 2016, they took over so much that a man by the name of Eric Schilling posted an interactive map of clown sightings across America. And there was at least one single sighting or attack in every single state in the US. As this was starting to grow, a young kid ended up getting arrested for dressing up as a clown and chasing people, and he claimed that he was participating in a hoax he saw online. So what exactly perpetuated this? Probably the pranks. Pranking videos were massive on YouTube during this time. People would dress up as spooky clowns, jump out, scare people, and they were getting hella views, hella money for this. So this being on the rise on social media helped spread it from a few incidences to a case of nationwide hysteria and panic. If we go to Greenville, they started to lure children into the woods with money or candy. And a lot of the town was terrified because they would hear banging on their doors at night and even chains. There's clowns out in the woods and they're trying to get us to come out there. Some had chains, some had knives, and some were holding money saying, "Come here, we've got candy for you." This was a quote from a 9-year-old boy in South Carolina. In Green Bay, Wisconsin, there was 5 pictures of creepy clowns roaming around a vacant parking lot under a bridge. In Rankin County, Mississippi, one clown sighting apparently caused a car wreck. In Dunwoody, Georgia, 2 people called the police saying that they saw clowns near their home carrying machetes. In Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a child reported seeing a clown trying to lure kids into the woods with candy. The media was having to calm down the community and assure people that they were stopping it. But all it did was increase the number of copycat clowns. In Concord, California, police were searching for a man who attempted to abduct a 1-year-old in a clown costume. And on October 4th in Sterling Heights, Michigan, a 7-year-old boy was attacked by a man dressed as a clown and he slid a knife down his arm. On the same night, 3 men dressed as clowns approached a woman with baseball bats. On October 5th in Detroit, Michigan, a man wearing a black hoodie and a clown mask robbed a Walgreens. This gets worse. Shockingly, during the 2016 clown invasion, not all of the danger was on the public. In Reading, Pennsylvania, a 16-year-old boy was stabbed to death while wearing a clown costume. And originally, the media was perpetuating that he was the attacker. The craziness grew, and college students actually started to patrol and do clown hunting. Students would live tweet the experience, and it broke news headlines. Literally, look how many people are out here hunting for a clown. For example, at Michigan State University, they went to go confront a clown after a photo came out. They had broomsticks, baseball bats, and this was happening pretty commonly in rural towns. The police were getting worried about the clowns themselves. Clown vigilante groups were putting people's health and safety at risk by spreading panic even further, mostly doing more harm than good. And on October 21st, there was a rumor going around that the clowns were actually going to purge. And the World Clown Association had to come forward and talk about how they disapproved of this behavior. Producers for Stephen King's It had to even deny that it was their marketing stunt. So honestly, what was the reason? Well, there's many theories on why all these clowns came forward in 2016. A very common one was that they were all working together in some sort of demonic or satanic organization, and that they were coming to take children, but honestly, that was mostly middle-aged Facebook moms that believed that. More likely than not, they were just pranksters, and they probably weren't orchestrated altogether. That would have been very difficult. There was also a lot of false reports going on. For example, a Facebook picture showing a clown at a local park. He ended up getting arrested because the pictures were edited. Many people were just riding off the train to try to go viral. And the media honestly made it way worse. In the midst of all of this, there was honestly terrifying people taking advantage of the situation to commit actual crimes. And there's been some suspicion that this is happening again in 2021. So if you guys want to hear about that, go to my Instagram and click on my reels. I have really always wanted to answer the question on why mirrors are so creepy. There are so many superstitions surrounding mirrors, and we've used it a lot for things like Snow White and the Evil Queen, or to call on Bloody Mary. And just a few months ago, there was this TikTok trend going around where basically you would take this animation effect that a lot of people were using for photos, and you would use it on your own reflection. A lot of people were saying like, hey, you shouldn't do this. You might be opening a portal, or that's not really even you in the mirror, which sparked an entire other trend. People would walk up to the mirror and they would say, you are me, I am you, and this is my body. And then they would wait and see if their face shifted at all. And for a lot of people experiencing this, their face did shift, which definitely gives me the creeps and kind of makes me think of The Tethered and Us. As unsettling as it is to think about, do we have another version of ourselves out there in another parallel universe? And is this accessible through mirrors? And do Bloody Mary and the Candyman actually show up when you chant their name? When I was a kid, I was literally so scared that I would accidentally summon Bloody Mary, like just by thinking her name 3 times in a row if I went into a dark bathroom. As a kid, mirrors and windows kind of represented a doorway and suggest the notion that something could be on the other side. But the thing is, if you've ever actually played Bloody Mary or a Candyman, there's definitely something you should know about called the Caputo effect. Giovanni Caputo did an experiment in 2010 where he took people into a dimly lit room for an extended period of time, had them stare at their own reflections, and they would all see strange face illusions. These descriptions include seeing huge deformations in their own faces, seeing the faces of alive or deceased parents, and archetypal faces such as an old woman, a child, a portrait of an ancestor, animal faces, and even other monstrous beings. The dim lights cause sensory deprivation, and then we fill it in with imagination. And this can happen in less than a minute, creating an urban legend. While mirrors reflect, their contents are comparable to virtual reality. But there is so much more to this. Okay, so you always hear not to put a mirror next to your bed and not to put 2 mirrors right across from each other, because this apparently opens a portal. So what this looks like is if you put this mirror next to this mirror, or if you zoom in on your phone and keep scrolling in, it'll create almost like a staircase effect. Like someone from another dimension could just walk right in. And this theory is nothing new. In the ancient civilization of the Mayans, it's speculated that mirrors and reflection on water is seen as a 2-way portal. This is between earthly and spiritual worlds. After examining 51 scenes on painted ceramic vessels involving mirrors, researchers got a deeper understanding between the Maya, their gods, and how the elite used mirrors as a source of power. The mirrors were also strategically placed so that the gods would have the best view of the human world. During the Roman Empire, mirrors were very expensive and represented seeing your soul. Seeing one that was broken meant your soul was shattered and 7 years of bad luck. Women used it in the Middle Ages to see if they could see their future husbands. And in some cultures, mirrors are covered after death in a family, because demons lurk after tragedy. So you're watching this multi-part series about mirrors right now as we speak, and say you decide to stop watching it now, well, there could be another you in another universe that finishes watching these videos, all simultaneously in this moment. Even Stephen Hawking was a huge proponent of the multiverse theory. So are we mirrored with another universe? Because there's been no substantial evidence against it. The Institute of Theoretical Physics said that a mirror universe was probably created during the Big Bang. 2 symmetrical universes were formed parallel. And physicists came to the conclusion that an antiverse must be extremely similar to our own, but not an exact copy. The one where we live, time is linear, and the other one, time goes backwards. Basically stating that this theory, you wake up after death and go all the way back to your mother's womb. Crazy to think about, right? But I really don't know if it's accessible through a mirror. What are your guys' thoughts on mirrors and portals? On my Instagram, I have the true case behind Candyman, and on my YouTube, I have my own haunting that has to do with mirrors.